Welcome to the Hermitess podcast with Andrea Cox, the only plant-based astrology podcast focusing on Hermetic principles, cellular detoxification, and mystery teachings. Andrea's interviews include her celebrity clients, NBA ball players, musical composers, detoxification specialists, and world-renowned healers just like Andrea. Andrea is a model-turned-celebrity detox specialist, intuitive healer, and holistic wellness and life coach. You will find only authentic people interviewed on this podcast. Real recognizes real. Andrea prides herself on only inviting those who are uniquely creative.
Hello and welcome to the Hermitess podcast. Today we have 𝗏𝗏 Morel. 𝗏𝗏 Morel is a life coach and spiritual leader, guiding millions globally to awaken, heal, and transform their lives. He leads his audiences through profound internal transformations, healing lifelong limiting beliefs and dismantling protective inner barriers that prevent abundance from entering their lives. The external transformations that follow are remarkable. People regularly overcome struggles associated with work, relationships, health, and finances. His podcast, The Higher Self with 𝗏𝗏 Morel, became the #1 spiritually podcast within 6 months of its inception. His event, Awaken Your Highest Self, is rapidly becoming the world's leading spiritual awakening event. This masterclass is designed to unlock your highest potential by healing your deepest subconscious wounds, the very wounds that prevent attendees from achieving their deepest desires in life. His mission is to help people awaken to their highest purpose, potential, and power. As one person heals and transforms, their energy influences the lives of 7 people closest to them. Together, we can all have an infinite impact on the world. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hermitess podcast. Today, we have 𝗏𝗏 Morel on, and 𝗏𝗏, I fought through tooth and nail to get you on here because you're in London right now, right? What are you there for?
Well, we're about to give birth to our daughter. So we felt like this was where she wanted to be born. And so we're just listening. And yeah, this is where we're at.
Oh, wow. Did you do some kind of astrocartography or something to figure that out? Or you just energetically felt that she
it's just
born there?
Yeah, that's a great question. No, it's just when you really start to listen to the signs that you're being given, it just became very evidently clear, like doors start closing and certain doors start opening and things feel wrong and then some things feel right, and you just kind of follow the path, and here's where we are.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Now, here's why I had you on. I'm just going to break it down.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm a pretty strong entrepreneurial woman, but I heard you say something one time and I was like, he gets it. You said that men need to pay the bills, and if they feel like they can't, they need to get another job or something. Can you explain to me how you came to that? Have you always had that type of mentality, or did that just come later in life?
Yeah, so well, first we have to understand that all of us as human beings have 2 different energies. We are both masculine and feminine. And the masculine is represented by the mind and the feminine is represented by the heart, right? So that is all human beings, whether you're a man, a female, you're gay, or whatever it is, you are both masculine and feminine because you were born from a mother and a father, right? And so energetically speaking, what happens is that in order for a woman to fully dive into and live from the truest part of her feminine energy, she has to feel safe, right? And in order for her to feel safe, she has to feel protected and provided for, because that's what the masculine does. The primary function of the masculine is protection, to protect the heart. So what is happening nowadays is that a lot of women are the masculine, right? They are the man in their life. And as a result, they attract feminine women or men that are in their undeveloped masculine energy. Because if one person can provide for a woman, or if one man can provide for a woman, so can anybody else. The problem is that when a man cannot fully provide for his woman, there is a part of his masculine energy that he has yet to tap into to unravel. Because money is just energy. We all as human beings are just energy. And so when a man is able to look face to face with, providing for a woman, what will be born out of him is his ability to tap into the truth of his masculine energy. When a man is afraid to do that, what he is really afraid of is to tap into and unravel the truth of who he really is. I'll give you this example. Let's say a man decides from this day forward that he will never, ever not pay for a woman's bill when he takes her on a date. Let's take it a step further. Let's say that from this day forward, a man decides that whether a woman is by herself or she brings her friend or her friends, whoever it is, that it is his honor to provide for a woman. What will that do to him? And what will the universe bless him with? I'll tell you, way more money, because he has taken an energetic stance as to the type of man he is going to be. This is the way life works. You decide, you create, and then it comes. When a man finds argument, or when a man has a difficult time accepting that role or that responsibility, it is simply, he's not wrong, no one's right or wrong. It's simply a sign that he is not connected to the truth and the utmost highest availability of his masculine energy. And we all are both masculine and feminine. So when a man is able to say something like, no, we have to be 50-50, what he's really saying is, I'm afraid. I'm afraid to tap into the truth of who I am and the truth of my truest potential, which this doesn't necessarily mean he's wrong. It just means he hasn't been shown that, right? And when a man becomes aware of this, he has one of two choices. Either A, he goes all in and starts to unravel all of his fears, all of his limiting beliefs, and uncovers the part of him that could easily pay for a woman and her bill, and easily can provide for all of her friends if that's the case that is needed. Or he backs down, he argues, and he defends, because his ego, the mind, protects the masculine, protects the heart. His heart is afraid to be wounded, so he will defend at all costs that a relationship has to be 50-50, where the truest masculine knows that it has one function, that is to take care of and provide for the heart.
I love it. And I got to tell you guys, what a powerful speaker you are, because I'm a speaker myself. And when I'm sitting next to you, I feel like I am learning. I do. And you have had a powerful impact on my life, and I wanted to share it with you. So, big house on the mountain. I have an overhead that's about $11,000 a month by myself.
Beautiful.
And 5 years ago, I was in a relationship where he did take care of me, and it was beautiful. And it was me watching one of your videos that just has me entering into a new relationship with a very powerful, strong masculine man that, although he lives in another state, wants to take care and provide for me. And for 5 years, I've done it myself. And the hormonal problems that causes, I've been vegan 25 years, and I'm extremely healthy. I run every morning. So not for myself, but for most women coming from a holistic wellness point of view, when a woman is carrying all that masculine energy and has to do everything herself, or clean her house, work with clients, cover all the bills, make sure the trash cans are brought up, the hormonal system suffers. And I don't think that's addressed. And I don't think women can really be that creative and create from a place of, if they don't feel that safety, right?
Yeah, because when a woman has to provide for herself, again, there's nothing wrong. It's just she has to understand that she can't possibly be in the fullness of her feminine energy. And that is going to show up in her hormonal imbalance, and it'll also show up in sex. Because regardless of what the news or the TV tells you, if you want any answer to anything about life and the difference between man and woman and masculine and feminine energy, just look at sex. Look at the fact that a woman has to open and receive. There is no two, you can't deny that, right? And then notice that a man has to enter, the man has to step in, stand into his masculine and enter, right? And so when I talk about things like providing for somebody on a date, if you want the truth, just look at sex, whether you agree with it or not, right? A man cannot enter if a man is like this. He has to step into his masculine, his energy, and enter. And then a woman has to soften and receive. And that is why for so many women, it's so difficult, because it all stems from wounding. It stems from a story that I will never allow a man to hurt me again. So I will provide for myself. And essentially what happens is the woman becomes both the man and the woman. She is both in her masculine and her feminine. The journey for a woman comes in, and you kind of meet face to face and head on with this, if the day ever comes where you want to give birth to a child. Like, I really think about this, right? Think about the fact that in order to give birth to that child and fully be there for that child and love that child and care for that child, you can't provide that love and also provide the money. It's difficult, right? Something's going to suffer. Something is going to have to give. And that's where you as a woman, or even a man that is listening, has to decide, like, what do I want my life to be like? Not saying don't make money. I'm saying, is there an availability for someone to provide for you? Is there space? Is there energetic space for a man to come into your life and provide for you and to cause your heart to feel safe? And that energetically, that'll regulate your body, your hormones, everything. Everything will start to change.
Oh, yeah. And I think for me personally, and most of my clients, I work with a lot of women, they're in the best health of their life when they're in a loving, supportive relationship with a man who's caring for them. So it was your video, and I'm stubborn. It was your video that I saw that I was like, maybe he's on to something. And, I'm very into astrology. I have a second YouTube channel with about 2 million views that's all about astrology outside of my wellness channel. And so astrologically, as a Pisces, as a water sign with Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising, a lot of Cancer in my chart, we're supposed to be soft and feminine and sensitive. And for the last 5 years, it was your video that helped me recognize, wow, you've accomplished a lot, but you're kind of a hard ass. Like, step back into your feminine. And right then I decided on the new moon to call in a partner, and then boom, like the next week. So I have to thank you. If I get married within the next year, we'll fly you guys in, because I'm just wow, you really have an impact with your speaking. So I want to know what took you from just kind of maybe keeping your thoughts under the radar, and then what made you blossom into such a brilliant speaker? Because I think you're way up there with Tony Robbins, and I actually think you've kind of soared beyond a lot of the really well-known speakers that I've seen elevate. So what took you into that?
I appreciate that. First off, there is our natural human design, right? We all have a natural human design. And as a result of that, we have a natural tendency to be able to do some things better than others, right? Like, some people are incredible. You go to their house and they like grab a couple of ingredients and they whip up a nice meal, and you're like, how do you do that? Right? And then some people are very, very loving by nature with animals, and you feel so good around them, right? Well, for me, it's communication. The problem with me was that I was communicating, again, from wounded masculine energy. So I had events. I had an event called Relentless. And at that event, I had like everybody come. As a matter of fact, it was one of Kobe Bryant's final events before he passed away. And then when I started my spiritual journey, I started to realize that when you truly find yourself, there's nothing to be relentless about. There's nothing to be relentless for. As a matter of fact, when you are in relentless energy, you're avoiding the now and the present moment. So I had to go through this process of unraveling everything that I thought was true, everything about myself, everything about what I wanted, everything about God, everything about the universe, everything about life, and find the truth within myself. And you know what I found? I found that for every single one of us, the difference and the precipice between living in force energy, which means you're going to force things and make things happen, or power energy, which means that life just simply starts to flow, is the energy of fear compared to the energy of love. And between those two things is courage. Courage is the energy field that when you can cross over, it starts to transform your life. So when I say things like masculine and feminine, it takes courage for a man. It takes courage for a man to say, from this day forward, a woman will never have to pay for a meal when she's in front of me. It takes courage for a woman to be able to say, from this day forward, I will allow a man to be the masculine in my life and to provide and to take care of me. It takes courage for a man or woman to say, regardless of what relationships I've been in the past and how many times I've been hurt, I'm going to open my heart to somebody and I am ready to call in real love in my life. That takes courage. And the thing that blocks us from that courage is fear. And once you can move past fear, you'll slowly start to realize that everything in your life that you have ever wanted is just on the other side of fear. That's the way we're all designed. That's the way the journey of life is designed. And so if you ask me, I went through that journey. I went through that journey with everything. I went through that journey with my relationship with Christianity and religion. I went through that journey with my relationship with God. I went through that journey with my relationship with death. I went through that journey with my relationship with women. I went through that journey with my relationship with pornography. I went through that journey with my relationship with food. I went through that journey with my relationship with alcohol. And I unraveled it all and I found the truth of who I am. And so I just share, I think, universal principles that help people return to the truth of who we all are as human beings. And I think it just resonates with some people.
No, you said something, as you say that, I'm going to get a snapshot with you because I'm a huge fan now. I'm fangirling over here. You said something that caught my ear. Like, for a woman like me, I would think that it's natural for a man to pay. Like, I've never even bought a guy a lollipop. So I would think it's just natural for a guy to pay for dinner. Are there women that really, you find women that really?
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, there are not only women who will defend forever, like, I don't need a man to do anything, or I want to provide for myself. You should see the comments that we get, but it's the same way as men will say, what is wrong with you? What are you trying to create out here? She's not my child. She's a woman. She needs to participate. I have never in my life, had a woman pay for a lunch or a dinner, and I have never in my life. She could bring 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 friends. No one pays when they're around me. I just won't allow it. It's to the point that sometimes even they bring, like, their men come, and if a man even starts the whole calculator thing to, divvy up the bill, I don't want to live in that energy. No problem, I'll take care of it. Because that's the man that he's in his underdeveloped masculine. The undeveloped masculine overanalyzes. It overanalyzes. Men or women can do this. And so when you're in abundance energy, you don't need to participate in any of that. You just decide who you are, how you live life, how you show up in the world, and you live from that space.
And do you feel that there comes a time in a woman's life where she feels, because I feel like because my partner of 5 years, he started kind of getting upset about providing without giving it too much information. Mm-hmm. And so I felt like I had something to prove. But what I've noticed is over the years, because I've had an 11-year relationship and a 5-year relationship, I leave when they don't want to provide. And then I feel like I'm on this quest to prove how I can provide even better for myself. And so I'm noticing an unhealthy pattern that puts me way too much in my masculine energy. Would you go ahead?
Yeah, I just got off a conversation with a client of mine, and we started to realize that she just left her second marriage, and she got married and divorced within 5 and 6 years with both of them. And what I ended up helping her realize that it was her relationship with her mother. Because you see, the father is the masculine representation of the energy, of the masculine energy of God, and the mother is the feminine representation of the feminine energy of God.
So I have a question.
Hold on, let me finish that thought. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So then,
did you guys see that? Like, Danny's he's asserting his masculine energy and putting me like right where I belong. Only you can do that. Go ahead. Well, I love it.
Well, because I want to help the listener. Like, so what happens is that we get in relationships with people before we heal the relationship with ourselves and our mother and father. And so, like, what we do at Awaken, for example, is we heal 3 of the greatest traumas that a human being can have: sexual trauma, the relationship or trauma or any unhealed energy with the father, and any unhealed energy with the mother. Because when a human being can do that, then they start the process of self-actualizing. And when they are there in that energy, then you can call in a partner, right? Because the partner that you call in on the outside is simply a reflection of what you feel on the inside. That's the way it works.
I love that. And you work with both. With your coaching, do you work with both men and women? I'm getting the feeling you do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So what advice would you give to women out there that maybe are in the corporate? Because I look at it, in my family, being the youngest of 3 girls, we're all they're all big corporate bigwigs and own their business. So it was almost like I was falling behind, and in my family lineage of strong women being told, you're just living off of him. You're just living. And I was in love. So how, I guess there's a stigma out there for women who are being taken care of in a relationship prior to marriage, that they're a gold digger, that they're just with a person for the money. And what you're doing is you're kind of abolishing that and being like, and I'm sure there are certain women like that out there. You're saying, no, the man should be providing so the woman can relax into herself and be her true, authentic, creative, loving, motherly, feminine self. And so that's why your message really resonated with me. What advice would you give, if you could give one piece of advice? We'll start with the women first, who are far too into their masculine energy and really want to finally invite a solid love relationship in.
Yeah. So I would say you first have to heal the energy within yourself and the connection that you truly have to the energy of love. Love is a frequency and love is an energy. And so many women and men out there, because they have woundings and unresolved issues with their mother and their father, they don't realize this, but literally their heart chakras, I know some people think this is crazy, it's blocked. It's blocked energetically. And as someone who had his heart chakra blocked, who literally felt it open and feel this energy pour out from here all over my chest, like this warmth that I had never felt in my life, I'm telling you that the only way you can attract real love, not because you need a partner, because you don't want to be by yourself, because you're tired of being lonely. No, real love is to come from your femininity, which is your heart. So I would tell everybody to start the process of healing, because if not, you're going to get right back in another relationship that's going to mirror the same relationships you've always been in, because you're just repeating a pattern because you're not healing the energy within.
I got to tell you guys, for those of you, and we'll get to the men in a second, that are just tuning in, that don't know Danny and haven't heard Danny speak. So I stalked his social media for the last month and a half. And it was you that had me calling in on a new moon, a man that would provide with love, that wouldn't get pissed about it a year in, a man that was abundant, a man that had a similar mindset. So I'm sure if I felt that energy through your social media, when people come to your events, it's powerful, right?
No, we see people I mean, it's everything from forgiving the people who sexually abuse them, to healing their connection with their mother and father, to couples reuniting and finally being able to like experience love, to men finally treating their women the way they're supposed to it's the way I describe it, it's like 30 years of therapy in 3 days. It's actually more powerful than that, because therapy is of the mind. This literally will give you the type of spiritual experience where you will reconnect to your ancestors, to you'll see the angels. It's the most spiritual thing you can experience outside of taking plant medicine.
Mm-hmm. And since you brought up plant medicine, and I do want to ask you that question about men, do you microdose, or are you into microdosing and ayahuasca and things like that, or no?
Yeah, it's part of why I am who I am. I've done 12 journeys with ayahuasca and about 7 or 8 with mushrooms, and I no longer feel the need or the call to do anything, because I'm at where I wanted to be. And then I will answer with this, and then I'll leave because I have another appointment right now. But eventually you start to realize that life is the medicine, that the people in your life are medicine. And the most beautiful relationship that you can have with another human being is a relationship that gets past the surface, and a relationship where you start to become literally medicine for each other, where you start to heal parts of yourselves by being in relationship with each other. And that is the truest definition of a successful relationship, when 2 human beings come together, and by being with each other and in the same energy and frequency of each other, they start to heal the deepest parts of who they are. But that only comes from the energy of courage, and the courage of sharing those parts of you that you're afraid to share with. And that becomes very beautiful.
Thank you, Danny. We love you. We are sending you and your beautiful wife and your new baby so much love.
Thank
so
you.
Grateful you came on today, and we're just going to watch you like keep going. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for listening. If you'd like to check out Andrea Cox's most recent 4th book, Eat Right for Your Zodiac, it's the first book to ever combine astrology with plant-based eating. Andrea's Akashic record readings, holistic wellness coaching, and intuitive life coaching services are sought out by both celebrities and ordinary, everyday people like Andrea herself. If you'd like to connect with her, you can find her at AndreaCox.com, on YouTube at both Andrea Cox TV and The Detox Intuitive, on Facebook at Andrea Lee Cox, and on Instagram at Raw Chef Andrea.